What's up, traders? This is ToS T Bradley 90 from My Investing Club, MIC for short. And today I'm just going to give you a quick tutorial on my favorite charting platform. I don't trade with them personally, but I do use their charting, and I've used them for 5 years simultaneously with ToS Trader, which I do use executions. But for charting, I think they're the standalone best, which is Think or Swim, ToS for short. And they are not compensating us for this video. I just want to make that clear. I am not recommending them for money. This is just my own personal opinion. I know a lot of traders can open an account very easily. I think like a $500 minimum, and you don't even need to. I think you can actually withdraw that money outside of it and still just use their charting platform. Like, you can keep like 1 cent in here just to keep it open and use them. So I think they're fantastic. I think they're an industry standard. I think they set the bar for what a charting system should be. And I highly suggest checking them out. And here are my thoughts and ideas and how to get started, and just hitting upon the main points. Again, I represent, My Investing Club, MIC, and I do this for our members, and hopefully you guys can learn. All right, let's get into it. And just to make last thing very clear, nothing that I say within this video is investment advice. I am not a licensed trader, not a licensed broker, not licensed in any shape or form. So take everything with a grain of salt. This is a simple tutorial on how I personally use with my own settings and what has helped me. If you don't like some of the settings, that's definitely on you. I'm just kind of giving you my own blueprint, and never follow another trader. Cannot speak more clearly on that. This is just our opinion. All right, guys, so we're on the TD Ameritrade site right now, which is Thinkorswim. They're the same company. TD Ameritrade picked up Thinkorswim, ToS for short, their acronym. They picked them up a while back, and so now they're just kind of the same thing. So let's download this right now. So we're going to go to the bottom of the page, and you're going to click Thinkorswim under the trade platform. And then I'm assuming that you probably either open an account already, or I'm going to talk to you as if you already opened an account. So now we're just actually downloading the platform. So we're going to go down, and we're going to say download Thinkorswim. And then you're going to have options right here for Windows. You're going to have the 64-bit or 32. Go with the 64-bit if you're on Windows. If you're on Mac, like I use, because I'm not trading from Thinkorswim, I'm just using it as a charting platform specifically. Like, I think it's one of the best ones out there, and that's the only purpose I use it for. So I'm going to use the Mac one. So that's how to find it on the site. That's how to download it. Now let's go to the actual platform. And this is what it looks like when it's opened up. So these are the absolute default settings. So I resetted all of this so you can kind of see, and I'm going to guide you through this and walk you through this and just kind of show you some of the best features it has and kind of how to access them and how to compartmentalize your own workspace, which I had to figure out for a long time. All right, so first things first is you have, I'm going to X out a lot of this stuff. So right here, these are called gadgets to the left, and I'm going to X some of these out. So you can hide things by pressing here, like live news. It's tabs, so these are all under tabs, which you can kind of open up and then, resurface and bring them back open. So right now, but I want to delete these. So right now I'm going to click delete gadget. I'm going to delete gadget, and then we can add these back, but for the sake of this kind of discussion, I just kind of want to show you as clean a feature as possible and just kind of how to clean up your whole workspace and to kind of show you how to access. So I'm going to show you the most prevalent things and all the stuff that I don't really use. I'm not really going to show you can figure out on your own, but I'm going to show you the most important things and the things that, you really look for when you're new. And like, you need a charting platform and you need to figure out how to do it. So first off, you see this little column right here, monitor, trade, analyze, blah, blah, blah. There's only 2 things you're going to really pay attention to here, and it's charts, and then it's flex grid. But we're going to start with charts. So, okay. So now that we're on charts, you can type in any ticker symbol. I think BOXL ran today, so I'm going to type in BOXL. And these are the standard default settings that shows for BXL. This is the color scheme. This is everything. And these are the volume bars, which obviously we're going to change color on because this just doesn't work for me, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to open up, this is your settings tab, this little cog, this little gear, so they allow you to kind of customize everything in Thinkorswim by hitting these. So we're going to open this up. This is going to be your main kind of, this is just going to be your main place to kind of change the look and feel and just, price axis, time axis, like whatever you want. So what I like to do is I like to keep most of these pretty much the same, except I'm going to take off show orders. I'm going to take off like highlight studies on hover. Like there's just things that are unneeded that you can go through. But the most important thing we're going to pay attention to is, let's see, fit studies. Yeah, I don't care about this stuff because, I focus on the equities specifically, and I just don't need some of this stuff like options. And there's just a lot that's actually kind of useless, but there's a lot that's amazing at the same time. So right here is the first thing. This is going to be your time frame, your favorite time frame. So you're going to pick as many as you want. So I do not use a 1 minute chart. You can. I use a 3 minute chart on everything. So I'm going to delete a couple of these. Like I only use probably 4. So right here, I'm going to click edit and I'm going to say, okay, the first one I want an intraday. So I'm going to do like 2 days. And then I'm going to go to 3 minute, and then I'm going to click add. So see, now this changed it to 2 days, 3 minutes. The next one, because I like to see a day back just to kind of see if the stock is running on day 2, well, I'd like to see day 1. So I like to give myself, 2 to 3 days. I also like the 15-day chart heavily. So this is how I see a lot of plays. And if they ran recently and I can catch the move, like maybe, and see where the bag holders were a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago. So that's why I'm doing 15 days. So again, let's always bring it to 3 minutes because that's what I like. And then, so 15 days, 3 minute. Cool. Right here, I like the 6 month. I think it's very, very key to use the 6 month. It's kind of recent, but it's also a long period of time. We're just going to go to day because you're going to want to see each candle as 1 day. So that's 6 months, 1 day. And then and then I like the 5 year. I like to go back far. So if I need to, and then again, always day. So you're going to click apply and then okay. So now when you're out of, the settings, when you go right here where it says D, that's day. So now I have 2 day, 3 minute. Which this is the intraday, and this is what the move did today. This is, 15 day, 3 minutes, so I can see the recent moves. This is obviously going to be, and then like 5 years. So next step, we're going to go back to our settings, and we're going to go to appearance. And this is big. This is very big. So there's so many customizations that you can make within this. And by the way, this tab right here can be kind of hidden. So this little button right here, let me click out of it and show you. This little button right here, you can kind of just minimize it. So I like to do that and kind of just full screen it whenever I want, or if I'm using multiple charts, then keep it open if you want to see volume, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. So let's go to the look and feel of how to set up your look and feel. Okay. So let's go to intraday. Sorry, one sec. Let's go to intraday so we can get the real feel and see what I want to see intraday. So all right, so I like my green candles not filled in. As you can see, they're hollow, and I'm a short bias trader, and the red candles are filled in, and they're very easily to identify. A lot easier to identify, in fact. So first things first, I'm going to say the volume bars I don't want these blue. Like that doesn't tell you jack shit. I need these to be the same color as the ticks. So click apply. We're going to go back. And then just in case you exit out like I did. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pick my cursor. So like what cursor do I want? I'm good with just whatever it is. I'll just take a vertical and then I'm going to pick the color right here. So I'm going to be like, all right, I love blue on my charts for some reason. So I'm going to go dark blue. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click apply. Now, if you kind of go over it right here, it gives you the example of what you just made the change. Now, see, as you can see, the blue is hard to see on this kind of like weird, kind of like gray, background. So let's change background. I like to go with just pitch black, as black as it can get. And I think that's this one right here. It should be. Let's take a look. Yep. Cool. So this is as dark as it's going to get, but it still has a grid, if you notice. And I don't like grids on my charts. If you want to use lines for, see where the lines are based on the grid, that's fine. I would recommend that, but let's go back to appearance and I'm going to take off the grid. So I'm going to uncheck this. I just like it as clean as possible. So now you can see my chart is just very, very, very clean. So I kind of like this green color, like this is a fine for green candles, but I don't really like the fill down of the red candles. So I'm going to go with something darker that makes it a little bit more like kind of like blood red, right? So I'm going to go with, this is your color wheel. So this is, pick options, experiment and see what you like. Like this is a little bit darker. Did you notice that? How the shade goes a little bit darker? So I like that. And I'm going to make that kind of standard. So what we're going to do is, let's see. And then you can make your dojis. So like I like to make dojis like something like pink or something that I can really tell where it closed at the exact candle that it was before, the exact price, right? So like close the exact price right there, all these little ticks that weren't even really trading right here, right here, right here. It just kind of differentiates and you can kind of really see the color scheme on here. All right, next step, let's go to and here, right here, chart type, you can do bars, you can do candles, you can do, candle trends, Heiken Ashi, line, you could do line. I wouldn't recommend line on Thinkorswim just because they don't always match up to the exact price. Candlesticks are absolutely fantastic on this, and that's why I'd recommend it, but I'd go with candles. And then things like over here, like equities, this is really just unimportant stuff. So this is the way I like my intraday chart. This is the way I like any chart, in fact. So what I'm going to do now is I want to add my favorite indicator to this chart, which is called VWAP. So let's add that, and this is going to be under studies. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to add study, all studies, and then you're going to click over to V, obviously. So let's see, V to W, and it's the first one. And be careful because these are really easy movements and you can kind of lose this and it's hard to find it again. So just go to VWAP, and then as you can see, Thinkorswim gives you kind of like upper bands, lower bands, and a middle. I don't like reading it like this. I like the one line VWAP. So what you're going to do is you're going to double click on one of these lines, and then it's going to bring this window up right here. I want it obvious. So all these VWAP, upper band, and lower band have to be the same if you want to kind of conjoin them. So what I'm going to do is I like my VWAP dark blue, like I said. I like blue on my charts. So I'm going to go to every single one, and first off, just make it the same color. So let's see. Blue, blue, and then I'm going to do blue right here. And everything that I'm showing you right here is how I set it up on my computer. So like you can use exactly what I use if you want. So, and then I'm going to make this probably a 3. So the width of the line of actual VWAP is bigger. So I'm going to make this like this, 3. So now they're all the same. But as you can see, there's still 3 lines. So let's make it 1. When we get to number dev dn, I want this 0 setting and I want this 0 setting because I'm going to remove the upper and lower bands. Then I'm going to show plot names. I'm going to click apply, and then as you can see, VWAP becomes 1 line, and that's just your normal VWAP line that everybody kind of knows and reads. 1 line, and that's how everybody knows it. Above VWAP bullish, under VWAP bearish. And we'll definitely get into that a lot later. This is very rudimentary, just charting, what charting is, and kind of how to set up a platform. So now that we have VWAP, which is the only indicator that I use on my charts, and I kind of like the look and feel, let's get into the next part of the video. All right, so the next part is going to be multiple charts. So as you can see, this kind of icon right here is going to say, like, this is basically telling you, like, how many charts do you want? So, like, do you want that many? Which is ridiculous. You'd have to have a really, really big screen. Usually I like 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this volume bar down, and then Voxel, as you can see, is right here. So if you type in, just type in Voxel again, it's going to give you the default settings. So like whatever you did on here, you don't have to manually input that again. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to style, and you're going to go save style as, we'll call this, TB, for me, T Bradley. Always check this. It includes patterns and study sets, so everything you did can be manipulated and duplicated onto the other ones. So we're going to click that. And now let's go to style on this one. You're going to go to load style. So TB, boom, got the exact same thing. We're going to do that, 4 times. Voxel, any chart, you can click SPY, whatever you want. So here we're just going to go to study, style. We're going to click TB, style, TB again, and then boom. So now you can do as many charts as you want. And like, here's the thing, like if you have a big enough screen to handle 6 or 9, then do so. And if you want just 2, like look at this. Look at 2, just 2, like side to side. So, and here's the cool part, if like you only want 2. So say you want Voxel and then you want UUU here. You have 2 charts, and what you can do is you can click open this tab that's hidden, and then we're going to start adding gadgets. So let's get into the next step of this series, and it's going to be a customized gadget. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually add one first. So what I usually like to do is, what I like to add first is a watch list. And the reason why I want to add a watch list is because whatever's running on the day, so like Voxel, say UUU, I can see by customizing this right here, whatever information I want. So as you can see, default, it's last, net, change, bid, and ask. So if you click this this icon, this cog right here, say customize, we're going to take these off. So first off, ask, remove, bid, remove. I like last and net change, but what we're going to look up is volume. And I think you can actually type it in. Yep, see volume. So we're going to put that right here. And for the sake of the argument, we'll also put, let's see, we'll put shares. So we'll put shares right here, and let's see. Cool. So as you can see, so now you can drag these over to, the best fitment that you like. So net change and volume, whatever. So, and we can bring that over to give ourselves a little bit of space. So what I like to view right here in this main column while something's running is obviously the volume of the day. It's going to be live. It's going to be trickling. It's going to be like compounding. Whatever it's going to do for that day, you're going to see volume live right here. And this is one of the best features of Thinkorswim. So when something's running, instead of like going on the daily and being like, what candle is it? Or going down here, which you can kind of see in this column as well on single candles, I like to see what's going on live the exact time of the exact day. So that's fun as well. So that's why I have the watch list one open, and you can customize by going right here, edit, and then just name them whatever you want. All right, next gadget is probably going to be something that would be like, I don't know, like a scratch pad. Like this is always fun. So here's a scratch pad, gadget. And again, you can hide these by clicking these. So, but you can open them back up. So say, UUU has a shelf S3 dated back, on, I don't know, 9/27/18. So I see that. And, what's the common stock of it? Maybe it's 100 mil. So you can keep notes, and you can kind of save anything and just kind of go back and see and just have notes and elongate this for however many tickers are running on the day. Or you can write your daily plan, like number 1, Boxel. If it breaks, high of day and stuffs, I'm going to short. And then you can just kind of go back and just kind of see your old plan for each individual ticker that's maybe up pre-market. And it just gives you a great guide. Like it's just a scratch pad. It's notes, whatever. So third is just for fun. I'll just show it to you. But you can add if you're bored, like you can add a Tetris. Like you can play Tetris, and then I think you go new or something like that. And then, yeah, look, I'm playing Tetris. So like I'm bored during the market hours. I'm literally playing Tetris in Thinkorswim. Like how fun is that? Okay, guys, next part is what I want to show, which is called linking and flexible grid. So remember what I said, the two most important things on Thinkorswim are the charts and the flexible grid. Now let's click flexible grid. So the beautiful thing about a flexible grid is you can customize it any way that you want. And I'm going to show you my personal customization and what I use daily. But, instead of going right here and clicking, anywhere from 1 to 25 maximum or something stocks, you can place them like how you see fit. So, and I'm going to show you how to link them. So right here, I want you to click any of these colors. So like red, I'm just going to do red for all, like number 1, right? So what we're going to do is all the same ticker pops up. So because they're linked, so if you were to change like UUU, they're all going to be UUU now. So right here, you either have an option to add or get rid of. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. And now, as you can see, I only have 2 stocks side by side, but I want one more. But I want it over on this side. So, oops, sorry. I want it like this. I want it above. And here's the thing, on the borders, you can customize any way that you want. So I usually go to about, mid-screen, and here's what I do. So let's click out of customizable grid. So don't customize grid anymore, and those options kind of disappear. So now they're set in stone. So here's what we're going to do. Because I already saved all my information, and again, I got to link this one. Through style, remember, we go back, load TB. This is how my charts just look as a default, because that's the standard setting. So, we're going to apply this to all. And then what I like to do personally is I like to have a 5-year daily chart right here. And then obviously studies on a daily chart like a VWAP or anything, you don't really need it. So like I'm just going to remove all studies. So now I can just see the daily. If something's moving really quickly, boom, I can instantaneously see what the daily is going to be like. Next, I like to see what the last couple weeks it did. So here's the recent move that I get to see. So the daily right here, the recent move like a week or 2 weeks ago, and then I get your intraday. So check this out. So I'm going to click a new stock because all these settings are saved, and I'm going to click, what ran recently. Let's see if staff ran recently. Well, it didn't, but daily chart, I now have the 15-day chart, and now I have the intraday chart. Okay, so within this intraday chart, I'm looking and I get to see whatever it is, and I can correlate it to really cool, points of resistance on the daily chart or support. Like, I can see everything. So now let's just go back to a regular one chart because I want to show you some cool things and cool tips. So let's just go back to Boxel for the sake of this topic. Boxel, boom. Oh, and any ticker that you traded that day or looked up, you can click this icon right here and it'll usually be within there. So like I looked up Boxel, I looked up SPY, I looked up Staff, and I looked up UUU. So instead of typing it in, sometimes you can just scroll through really quickly. So, okay. We got our volume, it's looking good. We got our candles looking good. The background looks fine. We got VWAP on there. So now I want to show you how to do things on it. So here's the most important thing. Again, let's go back. Drawings, drawing tools. This is going to be your pointer, just like this. So if you ever need to get back to your pointer, you have that. Here's going to be your horizontal line. Here's, resistance that became previous support. It's bouncing off. There it goes. Here's another one. Here's how to draw horizontal lines. This right here is how to draw vertical timelines. So let me X all these out. So remove all drawings, clear drawing set. It's all clear. So now, because I'm on the vertical time, let's say, you're going live, right? And you're like, oh, it's 7:30, or 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about zombie hour, place a line there. So now that everything after that is zombie hour, like zombie hour just approached. So that can really help you. Okay, next, what else is there? Let's go through this. So you can put arrows right here. You can put arrows all right, if I'm, quote unquote paper trading or I'm practicing on a simulator because I'm a new trader, instead of literally having a platform where you actually can or cannot pull triggers, just put an arrow. Just be like, but do it live and just be like, okay, I'm going to short 300 shares here and see how it acts and I'll cut it, whatever your risk is. But you can place, arrows on your chart and just kind of see whatever you want to use. And then anytime you want to move something or get it out of that, go back to the pointer. So if I want to click on this arrow and then move it, I can place this wherever. And then anything on Thinkorswim, when you double click it, it gives you the option to customize it. So now I want this arrow up, or I'm sorry, down, and I want it, I want it blue. Well, if I click, see now it's down in blue. You can customize it, you can do different sizes, whatever, what have you. And then if you want that to be your standard, so anytime you bring that up, and this goes for any of these options, you save as default. So now when I do an arrow again, let's take a look. It's going to be down and it's going to be blue. You see that? Cool. Next, text edit. So stock, reached high of day. Whatever you want to put on the chart, it doesn't matter. Resistance at 2, warrants at, I don't know, 230. Whatever it is, you can put notes on your screen, which make it really, really, really helpful. And the cool thing about this, and let's remove all these drawings, is you can do horizontal lines different colors. So check this out. So if you want to do one right here, go back to your pointer, like I said, so you can duplicate. So anytime you want to duplicate something, click the space bar. So I'm clicked on this already. Click again, drag. Click again, drag. Click again, drag. Click again, drag. Now you have horizontal lines everywhere. And if I want to make them a different color, because maybe one's a previous high of day line, maybe one's a new intraday high of day line, maybe one is a, I don't know, resistance on the 15-minute chart, whatever would have you, you can customize to the extent of time. That's why Thinkorswim is so unbelievably amazing. Let me think if there's anything useful in here that I could show you as well. Maybe Fibonacci retracements. I tend to love this indicator. It's kind of complicated, not necessarily for the new trader, but as you can see 0% of the move to basically 100. So I find that really useful. If you want to look into that, read some on Investopedia.com and kind of see what we're dealing with there. I totally recommend it. And you can do highlights, you can change colors of these, you can do anything on this chart. It's just unbelievable. I cannot recommend Thinkorswim more enough. I can't speak more highly of it. It's just absolutely fantastic. So let's clear all these drawing sets and get to the next step of this video. But on to the next part of the topic, let's go to what these side panels do. So if you are trading with Thinkorswim, first off and foremost, live news. I get a ton of live news right here from Thinkorswim. I think they're fucking amazing. The headlines are dated right here. It's usually just a time like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever it is. And you can see it. And I think you can double click and, just read through it. And then if you really want to see it, go to briefing.com and really get into it. All right, what's next on here? So let's get rid of the news. Click that out. And next is level 2. This is the only thing I don't like about Thinkorswim is the level 2 is just awful. It's always blue. It's always one color. I don't really know if you even can customize the level 2. I've talked to them about this and said, guys, you're so outdated. ToS, Sterling, Realtic, you gotta come up with the times, man. If you had really good level 2 and differentiated by color, then man, you'd be a perfect charting platform. But unfortunately, I really don't recommend or like the level 2. So let's skip that on Thinkorswim. Let's skip that part. Next, we have dashboard. And what's cool about this is it's just a quick way to trade. Literally, if you trade through Thinkorswim, dude, you could customize this. All right, so right here, quantity, I want 2,500 shares, boom, buy. And, it's probably a market order. I wouldn't recommend it, but it gives you the option. If you're really in a rush and the spread is super tight, I wouldn't tell you to do that. I definitely wouldn't recommend market ordering. I know you can probably do a limit order somehow on this, but it gives you the option to trade very, very quickly from the desktop platform. And not only that, so if we click out dashboard and we go up here to trade, it's the same up here. So you can see buy market, sell market, and if you go right here, you can customize. So cancel all orders, buy market, buy the bid, buy the ask, cancel all sells, cancel all buys, flatten, which means just get all my positions to zero, just flatten me out. I want to be in cash. And then you can either add items or remove items right here. So big buttons is the next one, and what's cool about this is you can auto send. So it won't give you a message or a confirmation to be okay, do you want to buy, sell, short, or whatever it is, and then you'll need that confirmation. This kind of bypasses that and says yes, just instantly buy market, or customize this to do sell, or again buy on the bid, buy on the ask, whatever would have you, but it gives you sell on the ask, sell on the bid. It gives you all the options right here, sell market. Again, this is not investment advice. I would not recommend necessarily trading with Thinkorswim. I just use it as a charting platform. I do not trade with this brokerage. I just use them as literally a physical representation of data and level 2. And, if you want, then that's up to you. But if anything, this is really just a tutorial on how to see stocks moving, not how to trade them, I can't be clear enough. And lastly, what's so cool about Thinkorswim is I don't like the level 2 per se, but the time and sales is actually amazing. You can move this border over as much as you want. You can see it as clearly and however big you want. And I just like the look and feel. Obviously, I'm in after hours right now, so you can't necessarily see all the orders printing live. But it's great color scheme. The greens are nice. The reds are nice. It's actually very fluid. I love seeing the big orders on there. I can't stress enough that if they just figure out the level 2, the time and sales, it'll complement it beautifully and it'll be awesome. Okay, next, and one of the last parts, but one of the best parts about Thinkorswim is the fact that it actually has a simulator. It's called Thinkorswim On Demand, and it's called this. It's located right here, but it's called On Demand. And what you do is when you click it, you can replay any part of, I think, any stock that traded the last 5 years. So let's see. So when we click this, obviously you see this this kind of orange border around the entire screen. Well, that means you're using past history to learn. So if I wanted to see, a certain stock, obviously, let's find something. All right, so let's type in a ticker that ran recently, and what comes to mind is PLAG, P-L-A-G, and I think this ran about, 2 weeks ago. I think it ran October 17th of 2018. So let's take a look. So you type in your ticker, get up the chart, that's the first step, then you go over here and you get your date. So let's get the calendar right, October 17th. You're gonna wanna set the time, probably give yourself a little bit in pre-market, right, to kind of, just to kind of give yourself a little bit of an idea, going with virgin eyes, going with fresh eyes, so you can really replay the day and not go in expecting or really knowing. I highly suggest writing every single ticker that moved that year, that was a really big move. So next year, if you have like 200 tickers written down that you think you can learn from again or replay and stuff, it's almost like revisiting them for the first time ever. And then you can use them in the simulation account by speeding it up or slowing it down, whatever would have you, but it's a really, really good learning tool. So let's go to pre-market on October 17th, 2018. Let's do this. All right, so as you can see, now we're on the date. So I don't even remember what happened this day. I just remember that I nailed this stock. It was definitely a short at some point, but here's what you're going to do. So now the time is counting down. I'm going to fast forward. So it's obviously in play mode right here. I'm going to fast forward 3 times. And then right here, I can kind of skip like intervals. I think it goes by, what does it go by? 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it goes by, 44. The next is 54. Okay, it's 10-minute intervals. So now you can see, like, if I want this to kind of speed up near open and it's not doing much, 5:54, 6 Pacific Standard Time, which is 9:04 Eastern Standard Time. It's coming near open. I'm going to skip again, and I'm going to get, like, right before the open, right? All right, now let's get a little bit into open, and I can kind of see what's happening. And then you can just play it out. Like, you can just play the stock out and see how it operated that day, see how it acted, and it's really cool. So now that I'm done skipping forward, I'm going to press this. And again, like, let's just speed it up, like 3-time movement. And here it goes. Like, I'm reliving the stock. Like, how cool is that? So this is a huge learning tool. I highly suggest doing it. And if you want to paper trade it, I think they give you like $100,000 or $200,000 account that you can use, the time and sales. You can use the big buttons, all that stuff, so get creative with it. All right, guys, so just to kind of recap and go over like a quick review, because I think this is pretty much the end of the tutorial, let's just go over the review. So right here, you have widgets, you have gadgets, you can put anything you want right here, scratch pads, you can do watch lists, like, you can put in the SPY that day, see the volume, preset these parameters. Next, this is just the main chart, obviously. This is studies right here, this little like test tube from a lab, studies right here. This is your settings. So this is how to go into appearance again. This is how to mess with all your stuff. If you want to fill up borders, click that. Now you can obviously see the green borders filled in. So that's that. What you're going to want to do outside of this is, again, there's price axis, there's time axis, go over those, see if every setting is to your liking. This is the day and or year or month, whatever time frame you're looking at. You can add them, you can customize. You can add time frame, like this is what I like personally, but do whatever feels right. Style again, save your style. So if you like a certain style that you made, save that style and then load that style. So that's how you do that. Drawings, again, these are all your tools. These are all your quirks. So like you have a pointer right here. You have a trend line. You have a horizontal line. You have a vertical line for time axis. You have text note. You have a arrow. You have rectangular, circular, you have Fibonacci retracements. Like, you have so many things at your disposal. Trend line is actually really important, and I highly suggest using that a lot, and you can kind of just see the overall trend. It's kind of amazing. But, really connect the dots and see like where the exact bottoms meet and whatever would have you. And then studies. Again, like, here's how to add a study, add studies. Like, if I want, RSI and Bollinger Bands, or if that floats your boat, whatever you want, then find them in here. They've got a very extensive list. It's absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it. And then let's get out of this and go back to pointer. Next step is, again, we have live news right here. We have level 2 right here. If you like their level 2 or want to use it, or maybe it's your only resource, then you definitely have it. You have the dashboard. You have phase scores, which I don't use. You have the big buttons, which are kind of cool. You have active trader, which I don't use. You have time and sales again, trade. You have everything that you need right here. But highly recommend the news. They're amazing. So that's kind of it, guys. Hopefully this tutorial helped. I really want people to learn a really good charting platform. I want them to learn Thinkorswim and why I've been using it for literally 5 years and probably will never not use it. I use this in ToS, but I got to tell you, Thinkorswim just really takes the cake. It really does. It's such a professional platform. Can't recommend it enough. We get no kickbacks for this video. This is just my opinion. Like, this is not me promoting Thinkorswim and saying, hey guys, like, we're getting compensated for this. Nothing like that. This is just so you guys can learn a really good tool. And hey, maybe I boost their clout, their street cred, right? Guys, come check out myinvestingclub.com, where we show all this stuff. We talk about all this stuff. We think about you guys all the time and what you can use, free guides, whatever it is. But yeah, T-Brad signing out. Everybody good luck and learn charting. See ya.
What's up, guys? I want to do this quick video for you. This is Thinkorswim, obviously. Last video I did was about how to set up your charts like Modern Rock in ToS, but now I'm going to show you in Thinkorswim, and it's fairly simple. So we're going to jump into this. I've just picked BOXL as the ticker to set up these pivot points and line chart and so on. So first out of the gate, we're going to go to Style, and then we're going to go to Settings, and then we're going to go to Appearance. We've got to change all of this stuff. We're going to choose Chart Type, and we're going to go to Line. Now we don't want up and down ticks, unless you do, unless that's what you're into. You know, it's up to you. But for all intents and purposes, we're just going to make this a black line. So we're proceeding as such. And if there's shortcuts to do this, forgive me. This is just the only way I know how to do it. And now, color, we can use that color, or we can say same as the ticks, whatever you want to do. But we're going to change the chart background right here. Make it a white background. We'll leave our grid the same as that. We're going to apply that, and as if you weren't blinded before, now you are. At least I am. Now we're going to click OK. So this is a daily chart. Pretty useless on a line chart. But really the big important thing is to click there. Let's pull up like a 10-day 1-minute chart. Okay. Now you have all this data. You've got the high, the low labeled, and just typical volume down here. Okay, but we want to see those pivot points. We want to see those predetermined support and resistance levels that we know a lot of retail money watches. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to add a study. All studies, we're going to go down to this one here, and we're going to choose SVE pivots. I don't know what the hell SVE stands for, but that's the one that gets close as possible, Okay, so with this study, you can see how it shrinks your chart, right? Everybody's like, oh my god, my line just got super small, I can't tell anything. You look in the top right corner right here, this little squiggle, you'll click that, uncheck the box that says Fit Studies. Boom, there's your chart, back in all its glory. So now we have these points of interest to pay attention to. So we have 359 or roughly 360 line. We have the 310 line. And then we have 222, 173, 447. You see that where this is going. But here's the deal, you know, this only has, the purple is the pivot, the red is the resistance. This only has 3 support and resistance pivot points, and sometimes it goes past 4, it goes to 4, it goes even further, and they're not even applicable like they are over here. It's just way out of realm. So you're going to go to Studies, and you're going to edit this study. You're going to look at this gear right here and make sure all these are plotting. So you want to show the plot on R3, and you show it on R2, R1, pivot point, support, 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 good there. You just want it to label all as such, okay? Click OK. Now apply. And it's the same thing, but here's the next part to this. So there's a guy in MIC, Kevin. I forget how to pronounce his last name. Sorry, buddy. But Kevin designed a little Thinkorswim script that now plots 4 pivots. So I'm going to show you how to do that, how to walk through it. So in MIC, there's a PDF that he made and he uploaded. And, you know, that's the one thing that's great about that community, man. It's just people helping people. And nobody's bitter at one another. And we're all there to help each other learn and walk through it. It's not your typical room. So we're going to go over here. I've already downloaded the file, but here it is. And you walk through it. And you copy this link right here. Okay? So this link, you don't necessarily want to click it, but you just want to highlight it and copy it. Okay? We put a little walkthrough here, but I'm just going to show you how to do it. You're going to go to Studies. I'm lying to you. You're going to go to Setup, Open Shared Item. You're going to paste that URL there. Make sure that space didn't come over. You're going to preview it. You see how it comes up as his Thinkorswim script. And we're going to open that. That's what it is. You're going to rename it whatever you want. We'll rename it Chicken Wings. And then we're going to go in here to Studies. We're going to remove. No, we're not going to remove all, for the love of God. To edit. Remove that. We're going to apply. Click OK. Okay, we're back to a fresh chart. We're going to add study. We're going to go down here to user defined. We're going to pick our chicken wings. We'll plot those on the chart. And now it looks the same, but that's because we're zoomed into the chart. If you include everything in the scale, now you have a total of 4 pivots, right? And now these pivots go across the entire screen for today. So now you can use these to fortify these future resistance points. Why do you think 360 acted as resistance today on BOXL? Well, I don't know. Let's go back and look. Oh, we got resistance here. Oh, we got support here that's turning into future resistance. The people that didn't sell on this spike are finally going to give up. And they're going to go, okay, fine, screw it, we're done. But that's what you use a pivot for. You match it up with technical levels to make sense of it. Obviously, you're going to be shorting into the 360 line, covering into the 310. Or you can be buying this dip into the 310 level and selling into the 360 level. It's up to you, whatever you choose, but that's not the point. The point is, Kevin made a great Thinkorswim script that now plots these all across your chart for the one day, and you don't get a bunch of different looking levels. I think that's great, and it looks really good. So, props to you, Kevin. Thanks for all that you do, man. And y'all take it easy. We'll see you.
What's up, guys? Just want to do a quick video here for you for the charting for ToS, so that you can have the same type of charts that you see on Modern Rock's screen. So let's start with a chart package here. Let's just open up a chart in ToS. I'm going to expand it a little bit just to kind of give you the aspect of it. Let's open up a ticker. Everybody's love and hate today of NBEV. Uh-oh, sorry. Computer's going crazy. Let's get a toolbar here. There we go. All right, so this is just my standard charts, my candle charts. This is just what I use. But what we're going to do is we're going to create something from scratch. So we're going to right click on the chart and we're going to go to Study Config, and then Price. We're going to configure this, and we're going to make it a line chart. We're going to turn the line into a black line, And then we are going to turn that off there, commit. And then we're going to scroll down here, and on my intraday charts, I always have VWAP on there just because that's an indicator that everybody else looks at. And so, you know, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy most of the time. So I will include that in scale. I won't display a value. I will commit that. So now we have a line chart with a VWAP line over the top of it, right? So we want a 1 minute, so you can kind of see it in the background there. But now I'm going to go to configure. I'm going to change the background to white. For all intents and purposes, we'll just leave everything else the same here. We'll show a ticker with black there. Click OK. All right, now it's looking closer, right? So now comes the fun part. So now we're going to do study config, and those lines that you see on Bao's chart are called pivot points. They're floor pivot points. If you want to know the calculation, you can research floor pivot points. Pretty much what it is those are predefined levels that floor traders look at in the pit that, you know, are predefined prices, and so that's oftentimes why they line up so well, is because, you know, there's a lot of retail money that's trading them, and those are predefined levels that are, you know, those are profit targets and those are stop losses predefined for, you know, longs and shorts. Not exactly to the max, but, you know, that's not the point of this video. So configure. So you add the pivots right here. They're in the study. You add them. You go to configure. Mine are already set up, but these are the colors that I use here. Okay. I actually reverse these colors around, but black pivot line. That way that you can see where it is on the chart. If you make it a white pivot line like it defaults to, you ain't going to see it. And you want to click label pivot points. I don't use Camarilla pivot points because, you know, not everybody else uses Camarilla pivot points. So I want to use these pivot lines and these support and resistance lines that everybody else uses. That way it becomes self-fulfilling prophecies. I don't want to be the one guy using a different line because not everybody else is using that. I want to be using stuff that everyone has their eyes on. And so right here in period, it's probably going to default to 15. But the new upgrade has these right here, 1 hour and 1 day. Okay, but if you don't have 1 hour and 1 day right here in the drop down, all you're going to do is, if it says period right there, you're literally going to type 1 day. You have to type it like I just typed it. Don't not capitalize it. Don't be a lazy ass and not space it or think you can shortcut it. Type 1 day with the capital letters and you'll nail it. So line chart, don't do a grid. That looks really weird. Click OK and touch commit. And now what's going to happen is study configure. The reason why I have not shown up is because I have to go to config. I have to remove this include in scale, display on X or display on latest value of Y axis. Commit that. Now here's the problem. You got to go back to configure and you got to turn on this label again, or you're not going to see the numbers. You're just going to see the lines. Click OK, click commit. We're going to do, why does this keep happening? That's so silly. It's because I'm using the wrong shortcut. So daily chart, 1 minute. Why is this not working? Oh, there they are. So now you can see the pivot lines right here. You can see yesterday's, but let's go back to 1 minute. There's your pivot lines. And you can see 414, 347, 243, 144. There's a support. You can also see 604, 714, 825, and a pivot point right here at 414. So those are the calculations. That's how you use it. That's how you get it to show up. And best of luck to you. Take it easy.